In Puerto Rico, there's a saying. People love to say, when you like to argue, they like to say, do you want to go pico a pico? You want to go, in other words, you want to go toe to toe with me. And the truth is that we live in a society and generation, in a time where there's no respect. You know, there isn't that time of making peace and making truth and making amends with a simple "I'm sorry, I should have not said that," or listen, my bad. You don't see that anymore. Now everybody loves to combat words with words, and especially in such a gossiping society that we live in today, like words for words, rumor with a rumor. And my question is this: has it ever occurred to you to just stay silent and not react? Just shut your mouth and don't say nothing. Don't react. Okay. So is it that people think that our silence will give us off as weak? Well, if you think that, you're wrong, because silence actually speaks volume. The book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 11. Solomon writes, "A fool gives vent to his anger, but a wise man keeps himself under control." The truth is that if you can keep your mouth shut, the chances of you making a fool of yourself will diminish greatly. If you think that you can keep your mouth shut, if you can keep your mouth shut, you may even be thought of and considered by other people as wise and smart. After all, no one can really tell what's on your mind when you're just silent. Everyone around you may be speaking their mind and revealing their stupidity and foolishness, but by remaining silent and just staying shut, the thought will eventually occur to them that you may be above all the stupidity, that you may be above even them. The great temptation, however, is to review everything you know and every opinion you have in conversation of the other person. The great temptation is to try and impress people with your knowledge of your opposer's dirt and influence them with your opinions. But in reality, what good does that do to you or anyone? Sadly enough, but true, the same people that are adamant to assassinate your character are the same ones that Jesus spoke about when he was talking about, listen, before you take the sty out of my eyes, make sure you take that big log out of yours. The truth, however, is that you cannot keep your mouth shut. The chances are that if you cannot keep your mouth shut, the chances of you making a fool or making yourself look like an idiot are greatly going to increase. You may even be thought of as the very opposite of wise and smart. Yeah, I said it. In other words, what I'm saying is that you make a dumbass out of yourself and everybody will see you for what you're acting like, a dumbass. Why is that? Because people don't usually enjoy being around someone who's always trying to impress others with their knowledge of somebody's dirt, somebody's past, or perhaps somebody's shameful affairs, especially if you're not being completely honest about what you're spreading. And nobody is trying to be around someone who's always trying to influence others with their opinions of who they oppose. It makes you look stupid. You look like a dumbass. It would be wrong, though, on the other hand, to interpret this proverb that Solomon is writing as saying that we should never again speak anything in a conversation. Well, if that was the case, all conversation and fruitful communication would stop. It would cease 100%. So, think outside the box here. The point I'm trying to make is that you have to be. I think it's in your best interest to be wise about when to and how we reveal our wisdom. We should only join the conversation when it will add something to it rather than subtract something from it or take something out of it. If the only point of the conversation is to impress and influence people, then it won't be too long before their opinion of you begins to diminish. Your best response, it would be to do what Paul tells us to do. What does Paul tell us to do? Let your fruits and godly actions and love speak for you. Even if you decide to never speak to your opposers again, even if you decide to never speak to the idiots that are acting like idiots, talking trash about you, it shouldn't dictate if you have love in your heart, because according to Jesus, love is the greatest commandment. Are you telling me, John, to love those who act stupid and talk crap about me? Yes. Jesus said unto him, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart. And you see this in the book of Matthew chapter 22, verse 37 and 38. Jesus said, thou shalt love the Lord with all your heart, with all thy soul, with all thy mind, with all your mind. This is the first and the great commandment, the greatest. In other words, that is the biggest commandment. It's a must. And second is like unto it, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Also, your silence should not dictate your forgiveness. In Matthew chapter 5:44, Jesus says, but I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, that do good unto them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. You don't think that I've prayed for people who've stood up against me and exaggerated things and said stuff about me? Of course I pray for them. And I've forgiven them a long time ago. But their actions are not going to dictate how I love them or forgive them or pray for them. Vice versa, it shouldn't dictate how you pray for somebody, love on somebody, and how you act and compose yourself. Why? Because you, unlike them, are displaying the fruits of the Spirit versus the fruits of the flesh. Listen, today, right now, as I'm speaking to you, I want you to do something. Ask the Lord to help you overcome the need to dominate conversations. Conversations that you shouldn't even be in. Conversations you shouldn't even start. Conversations you should take no part of. Ask the Lord to help you overcome that need to want to take control of the situation and look good when in reality you're being stupid and you look stupid, yet you're looking like a dumbass. Ask God to take you away from those things that make you look like a dumbass, and with his help you will not have to force yourself into them in order to be heard. You will be asked instead to join in. You will also leave room to learn something from someone else. In other words, you will make room for somebody instead of somebody saying, I don't want you to jump in my conversation because all you do is make yourself look like an ass and talk trash about people. In other words, they're going to say, give us a godly opinion. Why don't you join this conversation and give us a godly opinion? The truth is that sometimes our mouth is our worst enemy. So what do? We ask God to help us control that. We ask God to help us love our enemies, love those who oppose us and talk trash about us. The truth is, sometimes the people that oppose you are hurting you because they don't know how to get over hurt. And sometimes we ourselves, we turn to dominate situations and conversations that are not intended to be wrong, but we do wrong with those conversations. We talk about stuff that we're not supposed to talk about. So my urge to counsel you and my desire is to tell you to allow God to teach you to stay away from those guys. Ask the Holy Spirit to steer you away from those things so that you can be a positive influence and you can be effective versus defective. God bless you.